bundles of them, right? We're talking about Rising India, and when talking about Rising India, how can we not discuss the biggest rising trend in India today? You know, there was a time when you would ask a kid around, what do you want to become? When you grow up, they would probably say doctor, engineer, teacher. Now, if you go around asking a kid, what do you want to become? They'll probably say, I want to go viral. I want to be on the gram. I want to be on YouTube. I basically want to do stuff that gets noticed. If not that, and I'm talking to older folks like you, if I can say that. And what is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Now, I would love to hear somebody say, I kiss my dog, and I do some other stuff. But the fact of the matter is, we're all on our phones all the time. In fact, statistically speaking, about 71% people end up looking at their phone in the first 10 minutes when they wake up. So facts and figures aside, think about, when was the last time you bought something looking at an advertisement? The reality of our times is that what we eat, where we go, what we wear, what we do, is all getting influenced by these breed of young, enthusiastic creators who've got so much to offer. It's not just influencing in India today, is not at that phase where you cringe at, ye mera coupon code use karke discount lena, right? Influencing is at that stage where when Deepika Padukone has to launch a brand, she has to invite a bunch of influencers for a preview. We're at that stage where influencers are going mainstream. They are featuring in movies, OTT platforms, launching their own music channels. So clearly, it's time where we take them more seriously. We give them more respect for what they've been doing, but also understand from them how much of fun really goes behind creating these really funny, real content. So please, enough of me talking about and setting the context. Just give us your best applause for one of the finest creators in the country. I'm going to start by welcoming on stage Yashraj Mukhate. Better, yeah. Next up, let's call upon Niharika NM. All those people who raised their hand on watching LinkedIn, you clearly haven't missed our next guest, because it's time to get on stage. Ayo, Shraddha, in the house.
You were recently laid off by your company.
Yes,
What are your thoughts at this point?
I'm feeling very bad for the HR. Poor folks. They had to go from where? Diversity and inclusion to adversity and expulsion in a snap. Work from home, work from office, work for somebody else, just like that. And this after all those employee engagement activities to keep employees happy. Forget happy, they couldn't keep employees. This happiness is not their KRA, it is nobody's KRA. It comes from within. And not from, we have 6 types of tea and 4 types of coffee, 3 types of water in our pantry. Some of the folks they laid off were so new, they didn't get a chance to taste the 6 types of tea.
Time increment season to be watching this clip all over again. Let me next invite on stage the couple who are probably after my job, I can say, very safely. Abhi and Niyu, please. Please give them a huge round of applause.
Hi, I'm Abhi and I want to give you a reason to love India. Telling stories. These are real stories that make India special.
Because India is awesome and these amazing things must reach the world.
And give you, me and everyone else 100 reasons to love India. So let's go.
All right, so that's our panel for the day. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. Just a quick note, I mean, collectively, we have like what, some 30, 40 million followers watching out for this conversation. So I'm getting ready to be trolled completely for all the questions I do and do not ask. But let me start with you, Yashraj. So, Yashraj, I had a conversation with you during the pandemic when Party Ho Gayi had just started. The person I met then was this very shy boy from Aurangabad who was just trying to understand what social media had done to him. It had just happened to you, and you were wondering what to do. Oh, brands are calling, but kaise kare and all that. And yeah, and the guy I've met now backstage is cracking albums, is speaking to music directors who come to you now to say that we want Yash Raj kind of music. What's happening?
It's crazy. Now that I've learned, I've been attending all these events, so I know how to have to dress up and go and talk all sense. And yes, so that time, suddenly when the video grew up, it was so much to handle because things that I would never imagine were happening. And over the period of time, I learned how to speak and how to react to appreciation and also the negative comments on the internet. So yeah, now I'm better than what I was that time.
You're being humble and nice right now, but for me, I think, Yashraj, your journey has been one that signifies the term trendsetter, right? If we today talk about dialogues being used in music, it's because of you. So huge congratulations for what you've done, firstly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that deserves more than that, guys. Come on. Yeah? But tell me now, you're engaging, you're talking to Amit Trivedi, A.R. Rahman, they come and tap on your shoulder and say, let's vibe and let's jam on that. So how's that going?
Well, all these people I've admired all my life. Amit sir has been my most favorite music composer, and A.R. sir is like God to me. I've worshipped his work, his music all my life, and only the fact it's not even the collaboration, it's just the idea of having this access to all these wonderful people. And sometimes I just make something and I just send them for feedback. So I find that also fascinating that I can just send my stuff to them just to get a review कि ये कैसा लग रहा है, अच्छा है या ठीक है या कैसा है. So I find that very fascinating, and I feel very fortunate that the power of internet is so good that I get to have this access to all these wonderful people.
Power of internet, indeed. Let me bring in Niharika on that one. So Niharika, for those of you who don't know, actually had a job at Google, which she let go of to become an influencer. I really want to know, how did this conversation go with parents?
It didn't really go well, obviously, because it was their dream and also mine to get a job at a company like Google. But it came at a time where the pandemic was over and I got the job because I have 3 degrees for no reason right now. They spent all their money on those degrees and I said, oh, so I probably won't take this job. And they were like, but why? And then I showed them the paycheck that I would get at Google versus how much I'd make if they, sorry?
Tell us.
You tell me how much you make. I'll tell you.
Hardly, yaar. क्या मतलब? ये तो नहीं बोल सकते. Boss is sitting here.
No. Oh, see, my boss is also somewhere here. My manager is here. Yeah, I think it was just a logical and financial decision that we made to switch. But they did cut me a deal. They were like, you finish your masters, be independent, then you do whatever you want to do, because if you don't do all of this, you won't get married. So, yeah. That's a joke I always make. They really don't force me to do anything. I'm sorry.
No, but I think your story is also one that is like such an identifier with so many kids out there, right? Who are on TikTok, who are on Instagram, who are constantly trying to just let their parents understand ये चल क्या रहा है, ये होता कैसे है? Like, how will this pay? How will doing sketches, comedy on the gram, on YouTube, how will this earn you a livelihood? How do you answer that?
You really can't convince them until you start making the money. They always will be skeptical about it, with good reason, obviously. I wouldn't encourage anyone to just jump into content creation and think that they'd make money overnight. It is a long process. So I would say keep your job, keep the steady income coming, once you know you can make more off of XYZ platforms, then you can let go of that job because you know you're making more anyway. But otherwise, I'd just say keep your jobs, please. Like, don't just jump into the internet thinking you'll make money overnight. It's not like that.
Such massive gyan we are getting from Niharika.
You
and I
asked
must
me
say,
one gyan question. I gave you a
must say,
gyan
a lot
hug.
of gyan. But talking about gyan, let me move to Ayo, Shraddha. What's up?
What's up?
Lot of fans you
क्या
have.
इधर आ गई मैं अभी CNN में What's happening? क्या चल रहा है लाइफ में अभी? Like this month, meeting Prime Minister, meeting Bill Gates, coming to CNN, meeting all of you. ऐसे पिक्चर में एक सॉन्ग सीक्वेंस नहीं होता जहाँ पे हीरो हीरोइन कितने रद्दी मिडिल क्लास क्यों ना हो लेकिन गाने में ऐसे डांस करते रहते कहीं कहाँ लोकेशन चेंज करके करके ड्रेस बदल बदल के ये मेरे लाइफ का गाना चल रहा है अभी This is song sequence when I'm meeting all cool people, being in all cool places. Amazing.
Amazing, very song. We'll let Yashraj decide on what song and what mix will really fit your life.
I'll tell you, my content creation has not peaked until I say something rhythmic enough for Yashraj Mukhate to sing, iska kuch kar sakte hain. Until that happens, I will continue making content. The day Yashraj Mukhate picks something, done, ho gaya mera.
Yashraj, no pressure, huh? No pressure.
आज कल बना ले, मेरा job बच जाएगा.
But Shraddha, you spoke about meeting the Prime Minister. Yeah. We all saw him do Ayo.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, what did it feel like? How was that moment?
Yeah, see, I'll tell you, before I enter that room, I was thinking, ki, how do you greet the Prime Minister of your country? Should I say Namaskara, because South Indian? Should I say Namaste? Should I say Namaskar? So, मेरे दिमाग में ये तीन चल रहा है, Namaste, Namaskar, Namaskara, Namaste, Namaskar, Namaskara. And I meet him and he says, Ayo. And I said, sir, wait. Abhi, I have not decided what to tell you yet. What? सब भूल गए अभी मैं. क्या? So it was like that. Yeah, it completely disarms you with his charm.
Yeah, but you're such a lovable, endearing, full of life person. It's hard to not like you. But when I was decoding your story and we were doing, sort of research for this panel, I found that your, brand of what you do is so interesting. It's educational mixed with entertainment, which is a deadly combination.
I know, but I'll tell you, I will not take much credit for this. What I do is, after Niharika, Kusha, Dolly, Srishti, everyone has done content, I look at क्या बचा क्या है अभी मेरे लिए. अच्छा अभी ये मैं कर लेती हूँ. Because they are so fast, they're so prolific, they're so good. Well, half the time I'm only watching them and thinking, okay, oh, मुझको भी कुछ करना चाहिए. And then I feel, okay, what is left over?
Being very humble.
No,
Sorry,
really.
I just have to
And so
interject.
that's why I have found this one little thing where I say, okay, before they can make something, मैं कुछ बना लेती हूँ इधर अपना. So it's like that, forced into this.
Like I said, information, we are in an age where there is such a overload of information all around us. But how do you still pick up topics? I want to understand, how do you pick your theme? How do you say that, okay, this is something I'm going to get after?
I think more than theme, I keep my audience in my mind, which is mostly 8-year-olds. बच्चे ही हैं मेरे audience, and then बच्चे force their parents to play my video. So फिर parents भी धीरे-धीरे ऐसा, like how we watch Augie the Cockroach, because children watch, तो मैं Augie हूँ. So then I look at, okay, if kids are going to enjoy this, and if it's simple enough for them to understand, and even if they don't fully understand, कहीं अगर एक बच्चा हंस देगा कहीं बीच में, तो I think, yeah, okay, not bad. So like that. So I think I try to keep things simple enough, but maybe the subject is not very simple, but can it be said simply? तो थोड़ा मजा भी है सबको. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to engage with Gen Z also in some way, right? Because they're so getting used to consuming content in the entertainment format.
Actually,
it's the best way to feed them.
Most Gen Z, when they meet me, they say, my mother is a very big fan of you. My grandmother is a very big fan. My children are a very big fan of you. इसलिए मैं आपका वीडियो बर्दाश्त कर रहा हूँ. Because
Okay, talking about gyan, talking about information. Abhi and you, I'm damn serious when I say that you guys are literally after our jobs, right? So Abhi and you, for all of you who don't know, started out on taking a sabbatical. They just took a sabbatical from work and decided to travel around India and give you 100 stories to fall in love with India. What a beautiful thought, no? And from there, they've gone to making content which is hard-hitting, which is making people think, which is making people stop and say, hang on, is this the right policy for me? which is making even politicians, if I'm allowed to say so, take note of what exactly is happening. So, Abhi and New, well done.
Thank you.
I will say that now. Okay.
Thank you.
Well done. But tell me, how is the journey moving forward for you guys? This is so. I love this brand, like this collaboration that we have on stage right now, from music to entertainment to information to some hard-hitting news content, right? Is that where you see yourself going? And is that an area where we can see more and more influencers come up?
So, actually, I feel that our content has not changed since the caveman. We are still telling stories. It's just that the format is changing. Yashraj is telling stories through music. Niharika and Ayushratha are telling stories through satire or through comedy. And we are telling stories through our experiences. So based on circumstances, we wanted to travel. But then after COVID, we had only two options. Either we could just stop making videos, or we could make videos with what we have. So that's something that's not going to change. We will keep adapting to newer environments, newer challenges, and we'll keep adapting to them. But then the core concept is that we want to tell stories that we ourselves resonate with. So I have this theory that, as Shraddha said, that her main audience is 8-year-olds. We consider that our audience is the audience of one. So we make videos for ourselves. It's just that we feel that if we tell a story that is so personal that it appeals to me, then I feel I'm not special. And there will be many people who will resonate with the same story. So that's what we focus on. We try to tell stories which we feel that other people are not sharing. And we find that gap and we try to share it in our language. That's all.
It sounds so simple to do, no? But New, I want to understand from you, has there been any joy left in traveling because of this constant pressure to make content? And you must specify, especially for this audience who think कि आजकल की generation घूमते फिरते video बनाते हैं, इनका बस यही काम है और कोई मतलब काम धंधा नहीं है ऐसे.
So when we traveled earlier for 100 Reasons to Love India, that was pretty much like an extended business travel, because I was still freelancing as a content writer because we didn't have monetization. So I was working. So then every time we were traveling somewhere, we both have, like, I've written articles and he's edited videos or scripted them. We've done it in buses. And, we've taken state transport buses
so
everywhere.
Once again, it was literally New just telling me that you go tell stories, ja Simran ja jile apni zindagi.
Yeah, kind of.
And you don't have to worry about money for the next 8 months. I'll fund you. I'll fund your this thing. And she took the entire responsibility. So because we were always under pressure,
So
because we were not making any money.
It was work everywhere. If we would reach, like, for example, we had an event once. We gave a TEDx talk at Mangaluru, and then we went to the hotel, and then we were scripting the video, and the next day we were traveling to shoot the next video, and then coming back and editing, and then I would get calls from my clients saying कि अरे articles किधर है तेरे? So I'm like, oh my god, okay, I have to work now. So that's how it was.
Yeah, just to give you a perspective, generally if news channels were to do it, we would need like 50, 60 people team, like a script writing team, a researcher, production assistant, camera, etc. These are folks who are just doing it out of pure joy, passion, and just following it, trying to tell a story, like Abhi also said. But is it true that you guys were working on your honeymoon? That's how the whole brand came together?
No, so Abhi started making videos in 2017. He used to edit and make videos for his clients. And then he felt, I'm bringing my client's vision on screen. But somewhere I'm not able to tell stories the way I like it. And I'll let Abhi tell you the story of how he started.
No, so majorly, let me tell you about the honeymoon because you asked that question. So New had this idea that, okay, we are going on a honeymoon, but then I don't want to pay for the honeymoon, so I'm going to pitch it. I'm going to pitch it to 200 people, and somebody will say, okay, you come over here, make videos for us, and we'll sponsor you.
Look, if you don't ask, the answer's always no. So I said, let me ask. And
Almost everybody said 200, no. 300 cold emails. And out of them, one person replied, saying that, okay, I'm going to link you to somebody who handles this. And coincidentally, they had just shot a movie in the same place, and they were interested in getting Indian audiences. So we got in touch with them, and it worked out. So then we didn't get paid for it, but then whatever was enough, like whatever we were getting, some freebies here and there, was enough.
Part of the honeymoon.
Wow,
bomb.
Simran, wow has happened now. Huh? This is some way to spend your honeymoon, I must say. But Niharika, you know, when I look at content from Shraddha, I look at content from Abhi and you, they all seem to be coming from a place of purpose. I'm sure you're thinking, yaar, mujhe to entertainment karna hai. Like you know, where is this is so? What is the end game? If I can understand from you, I see a lot of influencers get into mainstream, do movies, do OTT, etc. Would it be fair to say that we are in this time where, you know, social media has become India's Got Talent? Social media is the place where talent will be identified, and if you've got your audience with you, like they say, industry to jhak maar ke aayegi.
Yeah, maybe. I think now we all just have a platform and we don't need somebody to give us a platform. We can make our own. I think it's all fair game now. And I think with the mainstream comment that you made, I just think there's a bridge now where mainstream is trickling down into social media is like trickling down. It's all a cute little happy family, or that's what it looks like from the outside. I don't know, I'm not in it yet. As far as what I do is concerned, I just make observational comedy. I did so much academic stuff that I don't want to do anything that requires me to do research. My life has been sucked out because of engineering. I did computer science. For what joy, I still have no idea.
You were a school topper, college topper?
Unfortunately, yes. So it was an interesting time. I really wanted the corporate life, if I'm being honest. I really just wanted a stable 9-to-5 job. I can go home, watch my movies, go to bed. This whole social media thing is also very unstable. Today it's you, tomorrow it's someone else. So it's a very anxious job also, where you're trying really hard to stay at the top, be relevant, X, Y, Z. But truly, I take a very personal approach to it. I just have fun with it because I make videos for me and my family, and if other people are enjoying it, great. I enjoy what I do, and I'm glad my hobby and my passion became my job now.
Okay, great. So last comments really, and Yashraj, I want you to talk about it because, you know, she mentioned pressure a little bit. You know, the one thing I hear from influencers who've made it, who've cracked it really, is that pehle na fun ke liye content banate the, now it's pressure. There are brands, there are timelines, and there is this pressure that, boss, my last video was 10 million. If this doesn't hit that, then what do I do? So that stress is real, right?
That is real, and every creator I've spoken to, they go through it. Also, but there is other side to it, because after a point, when you have your own community of audience, the numbers don't matter that much. So the numbers are only to get the brands and get the make the profile look better in terms of numbers. But after a point, when you have, like, if you I speak to other creators who have been there for more than 6-7 years. They tell me that after a point, it won't matter how many views you get or how many likes you get. It is only the community, that people who really love to watch your content, and that is all that matters. So right now I'm in that state. The people who will always be there with me, yeah.
I have to ask you guys this question because this is something that gets talked about in Gen Z circles quite a bit. And that is that you guys, this generation, brand, breed of content creators who are out there. And I mean, you, and Shraddha, please address this as well. You guys have such massive followings. Do you often, Shraddha, think about the responsibility that comes with it? Do you sometimes think about, this is too much love, or this is too much support? Am I doing the right thing with it?
Right. So I think the most important thing is to preserve your mind. Because all this following, all this adulation, or getting carried away, or to feel one pressure कि हाँ इतना प्यार है, सब लोग wait कर रहे हैं मेरे अगले वीडियो के लिए, इस खुशवे में मत रहो, because nobody is waiting really, and you might get the impression that इतने followers हैं, तो everybody is like कब आएगा श्रद्धा का video? Nobody is waiting. What they would appreciate is when you do put out a video, they're like, this is why we love you. वो वाला feeling अगर दे सको, I think all of us need to. And more importantly, कितना बड़ा है market? Market बहुत बड़ा है. We need not compete with one another at all. How many news channels are there? कभी सुना है कोई news channel बंद हो गया? In so many languages, in so many. So yeah, market is huge. So I tell myself that. You don't get so बिकॉज ऐसा ऑडियंस तरस नहीं रहा है तुम्हारे कंटेंट के लिए. आराम से बना, आराम से.
All right, I'm being told that we got to wrap. There's so much really more to discuss. But Yashraj, one song you have to give, yeah, on Shraddha's request. Defining the life of an influencer. If you had to do one, which one would that be?
I think some of her content only I'll take and I'll make a track.
So you're not, you have to give us a
That's
sneak peek
Yashraj
now.
telling कि अभी retire हो जा तू.
Abhi.
Yashraj is like, बहुत हो गया अभी इसका.
बहुत हो गया अभी इसका.
I've had enough now. I'm going to give her her wish.
All right, on that note, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here, sharing your stories. Kudos to everything that you guys are doing. Keep at it, yeah?
Thank you, Sonal, for that fascinating session. You know, I was just joking the other day that these days the UK, you know,
Since Yashraj hasn't given us a song, yeah, matlab, because you guys didn't clap enough. Yeah, Yashraj is like, I work on energy. I need like motivation. Since that's not happening, he's giving us a selfie with the audience nonetheless. Let's quickly do that.
this is like the Ellen